only doing loans. For now, we're only doing loans. I don't know how many of us are familiar with what is called commercial paper. A commercial paper is when a company comes to the market and comes to raise a loan from the public. We're all very familiar with equity. Late last year, Zenith Bank, GT Bank, so many banks, Fidelity, came to the market to ask the people, a crowd of people for money as equity. But there's also what is called debt financing as well. And that comes in the form of commercial papers. So somebody like a Dangote Sugar or any other person can go to the market, Cadbury, to raise money as a debt, which means you don't become an owner in that business, but you lend them money and they pay it back to you. But that has only been happening at this big business level. It has not been democratized. And we all know businesses in our communities that are doing very well and that will be willing to invest in them. We can see a restaurant that is doing very well in our community. And we know that if that restaurant comes to us and say, okay, I want to buy a cold room so that I can bulk buy fish, buy chicken in bulk, then we know that we'll be willing to invest in that restaurant because we can see that it is properly run. So that essentially is the kind of thing that we are coming to do. We are bringing what has been available to big businesses down to the smaller level. So we're going to be looking at schools. A school wants to do solar energy because the cost of electricity is so expensive now. A hotel wants to buy a generator. Somebody wants to, a caterer wants to buy a refrigerated van. Those are the kind of things that we're looking at to raise money at this time. Who are our partners? We have the Securities and Exchange Commission, who's the person that regulates us and supervises all and oversees all our activities. We got a license from them, and that license permits us to act as an intermediary between the business owners and the investors. We have first nominees, who are SEC registered custodians. They are the ones that manage the proceeds of the fundraising. So if a business comes to GrowthBoosters and says, I want to raise 50 million, that 50 million is debited from the accounts of individual investors, but does not come to GrowthBoosters. It goes to the account of First Nominees. First Nominees is a subsidiary of First Bank. So it goes to an account in First Bank. So even though we are intermediating, we do not actually handle the funds because of abuses that are likely to happen. The Securities and Exchange Commission has ensured that intermediaries do not handle funds. So as your account is deemed debited as an investor, it goes straight into the account with the custodian. And when it is complete, we now give instruction that the custodian should release it to the fundraiser, the business owner. And in addition to first nominees, we have Apel Capital and Trust. Now, this is a corporate trustees that have been registered, licensed by Securities and Exchange Commission to manage the fundraising and protect investors. That's what trustees do. They protect beneficiaries. So after we disburse money to, let's say, a school, then the Apel Capital trustees will monitor to ensure that the school does what we want it to do with the money, and it continues to monitor until the fund is returned to the investors. Now, this is not a Securities and Exchange Commission requirement. It is of all the intermediaries that have been approved by Securities and Exchange Commission, GrowthBoosters is the only one that has brought in a trustee to help us to manage the fundraisers so that we will not have issues of money not returning. So the trustees are working on it. Another way we are protecting investors is to ensure that for now, we are only investing in asset acquisition. So for now, none of our products involves working capital or inventory purchases and so on. We are buying big bulk equipment, and those equipment will be registered and titled in the name of APEL trustees. And after the fundraiser has completed repayment, then APEL will return the title of the document of the equipment to the fundraiser. So those are the partners that we're working with presently. Of course, we have people like Paystack who are going to be the ones debiting accounts and crediting the First Bank account, and then vice versa when the money is being returned. So for now, we know that every investor needs to have a diversified portfolio. People talk about having shares, having real estate, having money market, and then having money market fixed deposits and things like that. So in addition to that, you can also have this instruments with crowdfunding intermediaries like GrowthBoosters. So that's why this innovation has been introduced. I know that some of us invested with other crowdfunding platforms, but the difference at this time with the regulation of the Securities and Exchange Commission is that we are intermediaries. In the past, people raised money for themselves, but at this time, we're not raising money for ourselves, we're raising money on behalf of other business owners, and we do not handle the funds. Like I said earlier, the funds go directly to the account of a special SPV, special vehicle account with the custodian, and after which it is given to so that's who we are, connecting small unquoted companies that are excelling and doing well. Some of our, we all know them, we can see them prospering in our communities, we can see them getting richer in our communities, we can see how they are building their businesses and growing. So, and we all know what bank rates are saying now. Banks are lending at 35%, and we definitely do not want something like that for our business owners. But while we're making sure that business owners get a good deal, because we're intermediators, we're going to make sure that the investors to get a good deal. Investors get interest rates that are better than what they're getting for their commercial bank deposits and things like that. So, like I said, raising money from crowds of people has never been a big deal. It's companies have been doing it forever by the sale of equities, which are shares, and by the purchase of debt through commercial papers. But now we're bringing it down to smaller unquoted companies. But those unquoted companies will still go through the rigorous due diligence that we give, and to ensure that investors' money are safe. So our products have this advantage that its loan is given to the organization from a crowd of people. The products share the fund. They are regulated by Securities and Exchange Commission through a licensed intermediary. Those of us that are appraising, we are professionals. The three most senior people in GrowthBoosters all have banking experience and have the history of having good loan portfolios. So we're able to identify good businesses. And then the funds will be handled by the custodian, and it will be monitored by the trustees. And of course, the loan approval process is also quite stringent for GrowthBoosters. We have machine learning AI software that does the credit appraisal. That's the baseline. After that, we now go on to do additional due diligence to ensure that the person that gets the money is not only able to pay, but is somebody that can be trusted to repay. And of course, we have put the additional layer of having the trustees help us to manage the transaction. So the additional advantage here is that we have lower entry points. Some transactions, maybe you can invest with as low as 50,000. You can invest with as low as 100,000. The tenors are shorter. As we're starting now, we don't want something that will take too long. That for people, we want to be sure that 9 months, 12 months maximum, the monies come back. And then, of course, the higher return on investment than what you would get from commercial banks. That is there. So why would you invest in Growth Boosters? Okay, you've heard about crowdfunding and you now want to work with you now want to work with an intermediary. Why would it be Growth Boosters that you would choose? The investments that we're going to be uploading on our portal would have passed a very rigorous appraisal exercise, because we know that your ability to invest and collect your money back with the interest as and when due is key to our own sustainability. So we're going to make sure that we cannot love anybody more than ourselves. So we're going to make sure that the businesses that we introduce have been rigorously appraised and have passed through the eye of a needle to ensure that we only bring you the best. Our portal is user-friendly, just www.growthboosters.com.ng. You'll be able to register and create your own portal and begin to manage your account online real time, and then you'll be able to access those different investments. The different investments would have their own dashboard. So once you whitelist our email address, once an investment is uploaded on a portal, you will get an email telling you this investment has been uploaded on the portal. Come and check it out. So you look at it. Oh, I don't like it. Oh, I like it. Oh, the interest rate is too low for me. Oh, it's okay for me. Oh, I don't like the tenor. Oh, the tenor is okay. You'd make your choice yourself. So you'd be able to view the different businesses, review them, and invest in the ones that match your personal goals. So like I said, the businesses have been assessed and reviewed, so we're for that. And then the corporate trustee is protecting your own interest. Post-disbursement, we are monitoring, because it's not enough for them to pass the pre-disbursement. We monitor post-disbursement, and the equipment that we buy are insured in the name of the trustee. So for instance, somebody comes and says, I want to buy a borehole drilling machine. That borehole drilling machine will be registered in the name of APL trustees, even though the loan goes to Bisade Construction Nigeria Limited. It will be registered in the name of APL trustees and it will be insured in the name of APL trustees until Bisade Construction completes repayments. And then it will be returned, the title of the document will be returned to Bisade. So that way we're able to protect. And then another thing we do is that we have a sinking fund. So let me continue with the example of the borehole driller. We say pay back in 9 months. But we know that investors don't want us to divide their money into monthly 9 months. That will not work for any investor. So what we do is that we tell the investors we tell the borehole engineer, set up a sinking fund. You're making money every month. So you pay money into that sinking fund, maybe once a month or once a quarter. You pay money into the sinking fund, and then you continue to grow. So if, for instance, somebody borrowed 30 million and the person is a borehole driller, we say, okay, this is March, pay the first one. You're supposed to return the money in December with the interest that has accrued. But we don't want to wait until December before we come knocking on your door. So we say, open a sinking fund, pay back in June, pay 10 million in June into that sinking fund, pay another 10 million in September into that sinking fund, and then in December pay the third 10 million, and then together with the interest, and then it would now be disbursed. And that sinking fund will be managed 100% by APL trustees. So that way, again, we have secured the interests of our investors to make sure that it is there. So that trustee puts in a layer of comfort for all our investors. So how do we identify the SMEs that we use? We attract them through industry partnership. We're in partnership with SMEDAN, with Manufacturers Association of Nigeria, with MAN. We're trying to work with Faith Foundation, the Lumelu Foundation, so that we can have some of their graduates also work on that. So that's how we first of all have and then of course we know the people in our communities that that we can easily reach out to. And then after that, we do an AI screening. That AI screening is the kind of thing that fintechs use, and you can get your loan back in 2 hours. You can get your loan out in 2 hours. So they go, as soon as the business owner, the Bisade Borehole Limited uploads their documents, we immediately check with the credit bureau. They immediately check with EFCC. We immediately check with the banks to verify the bank statement. We immediately check all those things. So that's the AI software that we use for credit appraisal. So that is done like online real time. But after that, again, after that we have done the financial and technical analysis, we now go on to do additional analysis, the person's reputation in the neighborhood, the person's social media presence, and so many things that can determine whether the person wants to just collect the money and jackpot, so those are the kind of things that we look. And then another thing that we do is that if you say you want to buy a borehole drilling equipment, what we would prefer is that you bring an invoice from a borehole drilling equipment merchant, and with your approval, we would credit your 30 million directly into the account of that borehole driller and collect the equipment immediately. So that way we prevent all these things. So governance, financials, business models, sites, operations, all of that we regularly assess to ensure that we are lending money to the best managed SMEs. So credit score assignment, filtering by the credit approval comes first, then the committee would review, filtering by the credit score, and then credit score assignments. And then once we do that, we upload the business on the portal. We send you an email. Like I said, you need to whitelist our email address, marketing@, growthboosters.com, so that mails do not go to your spam box. So we launch it on the platform, we inform you, and then you now determine whether you want to opt in or not. And once the 30 million is complete, the fundraise, the custodian disburses the money to the borehole driller, my example. So that's essentially how it works. Fundraising is available only for a specified number of days. The SEC has said there's a maximum amount of days that we can do it. We can have the thing open for. And then so if somebody wants 30 million, we can say, okay, 100 million and multiples of 100 million, so, or 50 million and 1,000 units of 50,000. So somebody can say, okay, I want 10 units of 50,000. So that person will be investing 500,000. So that the amount that the person wants was broken down into smaller bits. So that everybody can invest in it. So that, like we said, so that there's a lower entry point. So individuals buy as many as they want. And as many campaigns as we have on our portal, an investor can invest. You can invest in the school, restaurant, hospital, borehole driller, anybody that you want to invest in, you can invest in as long as it's within your, as long as you can afford to do so safely. So how do we do the monitoring and collection? Once they utilize the fund, we continue to monitor until it is concluded through ourselves. We ourselves will monitor, but in addition, the corporate trustee will also monitor. They're being paid for it, so they're going to do a good job on that. And then the sinking fund would go on. It's a sinking fund that continues to be paid and contributed. And then when the end of the tenure comes, the money in principal and loan, principal and interest is disbursed to the investors. So if you have a wallet with us, you can instruct us to pay the money into your wallet or into your bank account, any which way you want. It's available through GrowthBoosters. So how do we get started? Go to our website, and you find the link that says investor registration. Read the terms and conditions, register, complete the KYC. We have to do KYC. We have to do things like BVN verification, NIN verification, because they are required by law, especially since we have to be careful with money launderers. We do not want people to bring in money from drugs or politicians who may have embezzled money, or people who have been fraudulent with their employers to come and put in that amount of money. So there's a verification that we're required by law to do. So in completing the KYC registration and onboarding, BVN and NIN information will be given, and it will be immediately verified by we will get an OTP and things like that. Those that have registered would be able to say that they get an OTP and they're able to register on the portal. And once you're registered, just wait for us to bring in good businesses for you to invest in, and then you're ready to go on. So you browse, when you browse the investment opportunities and determine the one that you want to use. You can even visit their websites, look at what they are doing, how it agrees with you. Maybe you can even do your due diligence, look at when you see their name, go back and check, who's this person, what's he doing, and so on. And then you make your payments through Paystack, and then you complete your investments, and then diversify your portfolio by investing in multiple opportunities at once. So this is our team. Myself, I'm the co-founder, and then I have on the left is the chief operating officer. Right next to me is he's Rotimi. Next to me is Tolu, who is our chief compliance officer. We have the admin people. Then we have our product development, product associate, and then we have our compliance officer as well. So I think we can open for questions at this time.